Hey guys, welcome back to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you really like my content, please hit that subscribe. I wanted to give you guys my foolish thoughts after NFC and AFC title games yesterday. Two really good games again, and so the past 2 weekends have been excellent football games. Thank you to the NFL for that. And I guess we'll just start with the overtime win by Cincinnati Bengals going into Kansas City, pulling off the major comeback, pulling off the upset, no doubt. And again, what a tale of two halves. It really makes you wonder a couple things. Both games, Kansas City has dominated against Cincinnati in the first half, and both games, Cincinnati has come back and won in the second half. And it just makes you wonder twofold. How come either Cincinnati can't dominate in the first half? Why are they getting shredded in the first half? Why don't they adjust? Or two, why can't Kansas City keep dominating the second half? But it is what it is. So again, for the second game in a row, Kansas City was leading by 11 points at halftime. And again, Cincinnati comes back and wins. I really think the people are really going to harp on the last play of the first half. Time management, all that. And obviously, Patrick Mahomes owned it in his interview, saying he needed to throw that ball away. You know, he threw it off to Hill, I think it was, and they got tackled inbounds into the half. No easy chip shot field goal. Obviously, Andy Reid being aggressive burnt him bad there. He lost 3 points. Obviously, you got to think you're up 14 points. I'm sure he didn't think, hey, Patrick, throw it inbounds so we don't score, and that's the end of the half. I don't think that's what he wanted, but there are times where the coach has to think a big scheme and be like, let's just get 3 points here and not tempt fate, because fate got them, and those 3 points would have been helpful. They would have been up 24-3, a 21-point lead instead of a 18-point lead at halftime. Another big play there, which I think is overlooked, is Pirine on that screen pass. How it was 2nd and 12, I believe it was, and he took a simple screen pass and just made some moves and broke a couple tackles, and boom, gets a score. And that really, I think, injected life into Cincinnati. It was 21-3, and it just felt like if Cincinnati didn't do anything, Kansas City was going to get the ball back. It would be 24-3 or 28-3, something like that. So they really needed a score, and that really just put the belief in them, I believe. Well, there you go. I believe, they believe. And all of a sudden they're like, okay, we can do this. We did this to them before. We did this just a couple weeks back in the regular season. We beat them just like this way, where they dominated the first half and we came back, chipped away, and got the win. So totally, I think that was such a huge play, the Pirine screen pass for the touchdown. And there you go. You have 21-10 at halftime, and all of a sudden, Kansas City can't do much of anything on offense. They have passes that are just out of reach, just off the fingertips. And you start getting punts. And it turned into like almost a second half. The only points Kansas City scored was with the final little bit there to make it 24 points, right? To come back and tie it up at the end of the second half. And honestly, they kind of botched that all too, where Mahomes got sacked twice. It was almost like they were worried about leaving too much time for Burrow to come back instead of just staying aggressive and going for the touchdown. It's like they got worried about it, and so then there you have where they were trying to bleed the clock instead of just get the lead, and it cost them there. Well, it was a good game, but kudos to Cincinnati to come back. Joe Burrow's building his legacy. 2 road wins in the playoffs at number 1 Tennessee, at number 2 Kansas City. Excellent job. That's the thing. Obviously, Jamar Chase, the wide receiver Chase, and they just have a really good nucleus of players there, and they just seem to be able to find a way. It's like they just believe they're able to do it, and they got it done. So kudos to them. It does bring into question, too, obviously you have the winner, you have the loser. What does this do for Andy Reid? This is, I think, 8 NFC or AFC title games he's been to, and he doesn't win very many of these. I think he's gone to 2 Super Bowls, and out of 8 of these games, he's got 2 wins, I think. I could be wrong, though. I know he went with Philly once when Terrell Owens was playing with, his broken leg. And then, obviously, a couple years back when they went and won the Super Bowl. So, actually, maybe it's 3. Maybe it's 3, because I think last year they lost to Tampa Bay. So maybe it's 3 Super Bowls they've been to. But again, it just fits into this Andy Reid narrative where he can get to these big games and just kind of fall flat. And it's just kind of like questioning why. I mean, does he like overthink things too much in the biggest games? And to be fair, Kansas City and all good teams will go off and just lambaste the bad teams, right? They'll beat the Jacksonvilles most of the time, and the Lions, and the Bears, or whoever, right? They'll beat them in the regular season. The playoffs, you're playing the best of the best. And you can't have bad halves like they had yesterday. You have to just keep playing and getting points, and it bit them, and they're out of the playoffs at home. So, another question I just heard is like, does this take any luster off Patrick Mahomes? No. I mean, if anything, they'll probably come back and be excellent again next year, make it to the at least conference championship game, maybe go to the Super Bowl, and people will be talking about how he's so great again. So, nothing. It's just a loss. It's kind of a bad loss in a way, losing an 18-point lead, but a loss. All right, thoughts on the Los Angeles Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. It was hard to tell who was the home team in this game. San Francisco traveled well. These are obviously division foes. And LA did a terrible job of keeping the San Francisco fans out. Both teams were using the silent snap count. That's how loud it was for both fan bases. So honestly, it was probably like a 50-50, maybe 60-40 split. And San Francisco came to play. And all I can say again is this. I like the 49ers. They just seem to be about a quarterback short of actually being able to win these games. I know that Jimmy made a really good pass to Kittles. I know Jimmy made some good throws in there. It's like it seems almost like when he has time to think, then he just makes inexplicable throws. He did that last week against Green Bay where he had just 2 or 3 terrible throws that should have been picks, maybe even pick sixes. And he did a couple of those throws today, and eventually he had the very end of the game. Darnold is tackling him, and he throws it. I know it goes off the running back's hands. Then it gets tipped up and intercepted. But it's like, yeah, I know you don't want to take the sack because it would have set up 4th and probably 20, fine. But like just throw it at the feet or something, man, because hindsight's always 20/20. What are you going to do? He's trying to make a play and it backfired. That was kind of the theme of this game, though. The first drive, Stafford has the ball. They drive down, goes a little bit behind his receiver. I think it was Cooper Kupp. Maybe it's Higbee or their tight end. And then it gets deflected, interception, a tight defensive battle, 7-7. Then San Francisco starts just playing methodical. They get a field goal. They get a touchdown. It's 17-7. And like, what's going on with the Rams? So I got to give props to Matthew Stafford. This is where he has a lot of practice coming from behind because he was with the Lions a lot. And any good comeback needs a big break. And when it was 17-14, he got a little pressure, needed a deep bomb, and it was not anywhere near the wide receiver. And, I'm trying to get his name, Tart completely dropped the easy interception. And that was such a critical play because it was right to him. Right to him. And, this just makes me think of John Madden. John Madden had one of the best lines. It's like, that's why he plays defense. He's not a wide receiver. That's why he plays defense. And it's like, he just completely dropped an easy interception right to him. What happens on that drive? LA goes down the field, long, good drive. They get a field goal, tie the game up. What happens next? San Francisco 3 and out. LA gets a nice drive again, field goal. And it comes to Jimmy G time, and Jimmy G just doesn't have that in him. I know it was a couple Super Bowls ago where he had the chance to seal the win and take a deep shot and in one-on-one coverage right down the middle, and he didn't take it. It's like he saw the fear. If you want to think of the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, he saw the fear and he didn't want to take that shot. He didn't take that leap of faith, if you will. I'm going to go for the win instead of trying not to lose. And that's just how Jimmy plays to me. And I just don't see him as being a winning quarterback. Sure, he'll win you some games, but he's not going to win the game. That's just my thoughts. Tell me where I'm wrong. He reminds me of Kirk Cousins, right? Just a good quarterback, but he's not going to win the game, right? Maybe almost to Ryan Tannehill, but Tannehill, they've done well in the playoffs. But, Jimmy's got playoff wins too. Don't get me wrong. It's just he makes those lack of execution. He has that fear. He won't make the play. And Jimmy loses. And I wonder if this is the last game for him in San Francisco. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will leave Green Bay, but I think definitely he could go to San Francisco. They have tremendous offense. They have, you can see how good of offense they have anyways with Jimmy G. You throw Aaron Rodgers in there, okay, and they got a great defense. Obviously, free agency and all that, who knows what kind of a team comes back next year, but I could see him going to San Francisco. I don't know. Maybe he's got a total grudge where he hates it, and he's like, you know what? I'm never going to go to San Francisco because they didn't draft me. Maybe he's like that. Aaron Rodgers, I could see being that way too. Just some thoughts. Let me know, what do you guys think? What do you take away from the games? And who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Cincinnati or the Los Angeles Rams? I'm going to just say this. Going to go out on the limb, just complete, boom. I saw in my news feed today that today, or maybe it's tomorrow, starts the Lunar Festival, Chinese New Year, right? And it's the year of the tiger. And oh, look at that. Cincinnati is the Bengal Tigers, really. So I'm going to pick the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl. Just on that. I mean, what do I know? Hey, if you guys have any comments, put them in the box below. I'll try to respond. Thanks for watching this video. And until I see you guys next time, as always, go blue.